the Mad Hatter Podcast, and I got this incredible brother in front of me right here. He's done so much. He's represented the city of H-Town to the fullest. TSU alumni, now a professor on the campus of TSU, a director. He's done great things from BET to music videos. Ladies and gentlemen, the world-renowned Dr. Teeth is in the building.
In the building, thank you.
John Tucker, as his mama named him. But,
exactly.
you know, here's the funny thing, and I've known Dr. Teeth
a
long time. But you know what? I've never asked, why were you Dr. Teeth? I don't remember ever asking you or questioning you about your name. You know, in our business, we have a tendency to accept people and their names, and we just run with it. But when I was talking to you, I was like, I don't know why he calls himself Dr. Teeth. Did something happen with some teeth? What is the story?
I got the perfect story. So I was telling this to Rob G. So basketball, I'm dating myself. High school, I come down the court. I used to hoop. I do Dr. J, roll and dunk. Everybody in the gym, ooh, Dr. J. And this one kid yells out, because I got the big ass smile, no, Dr. Teeth, right? So everybody laughs, right? Right. And so some of the guys on the team would call me Teeth, but it never really stuck. Mm-hmm. When I got to BET, I wanted to stand out. And so Rap City, the producers' credits came up first right after the show. This before it was the basement. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, my name come up the first two credits, but John Tucker is a common name. Nobody's going to remember that. And I needed Def Jam and these other guys to remember John Tucker because I wanted to lobby them for music video work.
Absolutely.
So I said, man, I should come up with a name. And I started thinking about a name. And I was like, it's not real because it's something I'm making up. And I said, why don't you put Dr. Teeth there? And I kind of struggled with it. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to put Dr. Teeth there. So I put John Dr. Teeth Tucker. And the first day that the credits rolled, this guy, Greg Trent, was associate producer. He came to me. He said, what the hell is Dr. Teeth? Mm-hmm. And I was like, aha.
It works.
It works. So then when I started doing the music videos, I dropped the John Tucker and put Dr. Teeth. Mm-hmm. But I never thought anybody would call me that. Because you're just thinking, I was just trying to stand out. I was just like, who knew Still Tippin was going to do these things? And I was thinking, I forgot you did that video. See? And so that was the first one that I put Dr. Teeth on. And so it took off and people started calling me Dr. Teeth, but I wasn't responding to it because it wasn't.
It didn't resonate with you. It was just something you just made up just because.
And so I was telling Rob, I said, man, if I knew that I was creating a name, I would have came up with a way cooler name.
Nah, but Dr. T stands out. Do you know any others?
No, I do not. Other than the Muffet.
But you know what? It does. But you know what? What happens is because of that, it does conjure up an image.
Yeah.
So people are kind of excited to meet you. They are intrigued.
Yeah.
It does create conversation. It does help in the branding of whom you became and who you are.
Which is funny because when we did My 6'4", it was Mike Jones, Snoop Dogg, and Bun B. And we shot in South Central. I've known Snoop through Rap City for years. Mm-hmm. And so we're shooting, man, and all of a sudden I hear, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. So I'm in the middle of shooting. I didn't know it was Snoop, and he pushed me. He said, man, you Dr. Teeth. You Dr. Teeth. So I was like, what?
So he didn't know you.
He didn't know
for
me
being that director. He knows Tucker from BET.
He said, man, this fool, I know this fool. So he goes, I'm thinking I'm about to meet, because he's seeing Dr. Teeth all over the credits and stuff.
So he has
to meet triple OG.
Yeah, right.
He said, I think I'm about to see some nigga with teardrops over his eyes. I know this fool. And so he kept saying it the whole day. It was just blowing him away.
That it was you.
That it was
somebody
me.
he knew.
Somebody he knew.
So you didn't really, okay, now this is the bad part. That means you really didn't market yourself well with that name. Because it was a name you just gave yourself. Right. But you kind of mentally detached to the name. But you had a purpose in naming yourself that for the purpose of it branding you.
Right. Not fully understanding branding.
Wow. Well, I guess this is before social media.
Right.
I understand why this kind of stuff is so important as well.
Because I would have made a way cooler name, brother. Something I would have wanted to be called.
Now
I'm cool with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the name is cool. It works.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Mad Hatter. If I knew that the career was going to actually be something, I probably would have came across something cooler, not the name that the young lady called me so I could be on air that I thought was dumb at first. But since she was giving me this opportunity, I'm like, oh, you can call me whatever you want if you're going to give me this airtime and I can play whatever music I want.
Exactly.
So I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Do you think Magic Johnson hate being called Magic? No,
I don't think
cool
Magic
name.
Johnson. Yeah,
or Dr. J. That's a cool name.
Okay,
come on.
Those are some cool names. So no, but I'm not ashamed of my name as you're not ashamed of yours.
No, I'm not.
It's just that there was probably a little more you could have got out of it had you marketed different.
Exactly.
I want to go back a little bit because I want to go back to the Still Tippin video and all that stuff too. I want to know who Dr. T, a.k.a. John Tucker, is. Because a lot of people probably don't know. No, I think they were very clear that you were a Houston guy. Mm-hmm. But are you truly a Houston guy? If so, what side of town, what school, all that good stuff, and how you got to TSU?
Right. So I'm Houston by way of TSU. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Wow. Okay.
And so Cincinnati claimed me. I think I told you this was years ago. One of my Paul Wall came and did a show in Cincinnati, and he got caught in the elevator by some cats in Cincinnati. And if you know anything about Cincinnati, these guys, they can be a little scary. Mm-hmm. And so Paul said he got on the elevator, and they were like, "Hey man, you know Dr. T?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." They said, "Where he from?" And Paul said, "Houston." "Nah, he from Cincinnati." Paul said, "Oh, okay." I didn't even know, and so I grew up at TSU.
That's kind of cool because they're proud of you.
They were proud of me, yeah.
But most Houstonians, they think that you're from here as well. So
because
we claim you now.
And I claim Houston.
No doubt.
Because the culture, man, having the opportunity to produce at Rap City. Mm-hmm. New York people, even though Rap City was in D.C., I mean, it's 200 miles, New York claims hip-hop. And if you know any New Yorkers, they are not shy about their position. They always 10 toes down to who they are and their status in hip hop. Even if New York isn't on, it's on in their mind. Mm-hmm. And I would always talk about, man, Houston got this whole rap scene with DJ Screw, or they got UGK. Like, what? That's blasphemy, man. UGK is an institution.
They didn't know no better.
They didn't know no better. And so I kept pushing UGK. I kept pushing.
You definitely pushed the culture. And I got to salute you for that. You were really big at saluting, at getting our culture. I think you were instrumental on getting our culture on BET during that time.
Yeah. And to the point, Pimp C had a mixtape where he was like, F BET, they never play us. Mm-hmm. And when I heard it, I felt like it was my job to get them on air. Mm. I had to beg the powers that be to let me come to Houston and show the culture. And my immediate boss got it. So when we came, I got Mama D to get Bun and Pimp. Pimp didn't show up.
Wow.
Pimp was mad. He wasn't playing. Pimp. Wow. He wasn't with it. And Bun came and we hung out, and Bun hosted a whole week of showing all the artists in Houston and whatnot. And they made him an official correspondent to Rap City.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And they did a whole episode of Underground Houston. I got Screw on there and Pokey and Hawk and ESG and all these guys that was able to get on air, and then also had them come back and be on the basement. And it showed. And then Pimp saw that. He saw it was genuine because I wasn't trying to get paid. I wasn't charging anybody. I was really putting cats on. Mm-hmm. And Pimp called me. So this is the funniest thing.
Pimp will pick up a phone and call you. Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
So he calls. We're in Miami. They're about to shoot Sitting on Scissor video. Mm-hmm. He called my hotel. I answered the phone, which is weird because we got cell phones now, right? But he calls the hotel and I answer the phone, and Pimp got that Southern twang. And he said, "Hey, where's John Tucker?" I said, "This is him." I said, who's this? This Pimp. I said, who? This Pimp.
Yeah.
And someone said, hey, man, don't laugh, because that's Pimp C.
Right.
I said, Pimp C? He said, yeah. I said, oh, so now I'm fan.
Straighten up. Yeah.
He said, hey, man, we about to shoot this thing. I want you to come down and come see me. So I went to the video set.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that. But I was super cool with Jordan. That's another Juicy J.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the set. I get in the car with Pimp. He had that Benz that he had in Big Pimpin'.
Okay.
There's this Big Pimpin'. And we sitting in the car. I was dating this girl from Jamaica who was Canada, lived in Canada, came to Miami. She in the back seat. I'm in the front seat, and he's playing Riding Dirty, and he's going through the whole album. He's playing 2 of his albums, and he's going through the part when the cat's in jail, and the dude's talking about, look, these 2 men over here kissing and all that stuff, and the dude's kind of narrating the album. And Pimp is telling me this is my homeboy who would send me tapes. And he would tell me, first he would write me letters. He said, but I tell him, man, I ain't got time to read no letters. I ain't writing no letters back. But if you want to reach me, make a tape. Send me a tape. I'll listen to the tape on my way to the studio while I'm doing my things, and I'll make you a tape back. So I'm sitting in the front seat, man. He breaking down the albums, and he's telling me, as I'm listening to the album and I'm working on the album, I started then taking things he said and writing the songs, creating songs to some of the stuff that he was talking about. So when you hear those little interludes, that's his homeboy really talking to him and creating, having this moment with his friend. That Pimp had the vision to create an album around it.
Wow.
And then he starts playing me stuff and singing the songs. I said, man, I didn't know you sing. And I didn't know his production was so deep.
Oh, yeah.
So deep.
I think people forget about Pimp's production side.
Yes.
I think it often gets overlooked because he was so flamboyant with his style.
Exactly.
So you remember that. You don't remember that he really was a musician. He really was a producer.
Really studied the music, man. And if you listen to the second and the third album, if you listen to the production, how tight and how strong it is, you would know that Pimp C is a musician.
Absolutely.
A real musician. And he's singing those harmonies. And I was blown away. And to this day, that's a story that I got with an icon, you know what I mean, like that, to actually think enough of what I did to want to sit me in the car with him and listen to the music and explain his gift to me.
So now he's cool with BET after he saw that you showed him some love.
Yeah. Now he's
but
cool.
you're going to have to show him some extra love now. That's Pimp, man.
Yeah.
Miss Pimp.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
man, Miss Pimp.
Now,
bro.
I love that. Now we know where you're from. How did you get to TSU? What drove you to want to be here? And oftentimes, I don't know if the school is known for directors of movies, maybe I don't have enough research to know that, but what made you say, I want to go there and I want to learn about the craft of movie making or videos from from the institution of TSU?
Well, Hattie, you won't believe this. But I played when I hooped, right? In Cincinnati, Indiana, we all.
You tall, bro.
Yeah.
I will believe this.
Okay.
Now,
well,
you might feel differently about yourself now. It's been
I don't have it no more, but no. But I hooped. I got a scholarship to McNeese. I had finished high school in San Antonio.
Okay.
But I grew up in Cincinnati, so I finished my last couple of years of high school in San Antonio, and I was trying to go back to Cincinnati. But I knew I need to go to school. I need to be into something that gets me to the next thing in life, right? And so my desire was to go back to Cincinnati, but I knew if I went there, nothing was going to happen. So I figured I'd go to college and figure this thing out, right? And so McNeese came calling. My parents took me to Louisiana for the first time, man. I had Boudin, never heard of it. And we registered at McNeese. Joe Dumars showed me the campus and whatnot, and got back, and I had got an acceptance letter. I registered, but when I got back, I had a letter saying I hadn't been accepted. So my mother said, well, what they're probably going to do is they got to accept you. You registered. You got to accept this letter. She said, you're probably going to be on probation because they have fired the coach that recruited me. And I had such a hard time those last 2 years of coming from a black area in Cincinnati to moving to a suburb area of San Antonio. And there was maybe 10 blacks in this school. I'm on the basketball team, and there's kids playing in front of me. I've been playing basketball my whole life, and I'm on the Pine. I got my scholarship through the summer league program that they had for the high school students. And so I had been jerked around so much. I was just like, man, I don't want to go to college on probation. I'm not a great student, and go here and the coach don't even want me. I said, well, I had some friends that were PAR students that was going to TSU. So I said, well, man, they can get into TSU. I'm going to TSU, right? Not knowing
if you're going to be going to TSU.
That I was going to be going to TSU.
Yes,
so
sir.
At the time, they had an open door policy. You didn't have to take SAT or ACT.
Oh, wow.
And you just registered and you were in. That open door policy was the best thing that could have happened to me because that's where I found myself. I was a music major, bro. I had a recording deal with Motown under Gerald Busby. We had our records was being produced by Hakeem from The Boys.
Wow. I don't know. I've never
knew that.
So
right?
you did what with music?
I was R&B, bro.
So were you singing?
I was singing. Shades of Black. Look at, oh my God, Rob G. No.
Is this record out here available? Because I'm gonna go find it if it's Shades of Black.
It might be, man, because they had it up at the box. This is before you came. This is when Greg Street was there.
Wow.
They had it. Well, it wasn't the box. What was it called?
Magic was Magic 102 or 102 Jams for a minute. The box was
okay.
It could have been, if it wasn't the box, it was 102 Jams.
102, yeah. So Greg Street was at MC Street was his name, and Greg had it. And he played a couple times.
Street was Magic, I think. But
Yeah. Anyway, so we were up there, and through the music, I always had visualized the music, colors, images, and I realized I didn't want to be a music major. I didn't want no degree in music. What am I do with that? You don't need that. So I went to business, horrible at math, and I kind of stumbled into communications. And in that, I had a strong desire to want to get these cameras. So I couldn't get the cameras on the edit machine unless I enrolled into the class. So I enrolled into videography, editing, 4 times in videography, 3 times in editing, flunked every year.
Wow.
All I wanted to do was access to the equipment. I didn't care about the class. No, but I would withdraw. So our deal, we wound up losing our deal because we imploded. The groups is hard to keep together. As you know, you had one of the greatest groups of all time with Paul Wall and Chameleonaire.
I won't say they imploded. They still friends.
They still friends now. But at the point,
things happen.
Individuals. Well, we had 5 guys, and we imploded.
I got you.
And so I was left with a kid that I was raising as a college student and the opportunity to continue to go to school. And in my head, I thought, well, I was kind of getting to this video thing because I was creating visuals with our demos, which we're talking 93. That's way early. There was no cell phones, and we had the camcorders.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a common thing. And so I said, let me give this video thing a chance. So I would just be the school thing a chance. So I would go to school and I just live in the editing suites. And one of the professors, Dr. Lou Brown and Dr. Reza Poudet, Dr. Poudet would make sure I could get a camera anytime I wanted, even though I didn't go to class. He would even let me take the camera home.
It's always that one teacher, man, that sees something, man. You don't even know why.
He would even let me take the stuff home, man, and that was not, that was unheard of. And then Dr. Lou Brown, I think he was just trying to keep me there, to try to pull me in.
I get it.
Dr. Lou Brown would see my work on campus, but saw I never left the lab. So one day he came in and he asked me, he said, hey, man, let me see your fee receipt. I'm thinking he about to check to make sure I'm a student. And he looks, on your fee receipt is your schedule. He said, okay. He Xeroxed it, brought it back to me. The next day he came, he said, hey, it's 11 o'clock. Come on, follow me. So I'm like, okay. I was an obedient kid. I follow him to a classroom. It's his class. I'm supposed to be in his class, right?
Oh, wow.
I sit in his class. He says, okay, I want you to listen to everything we do. When we get done, you're going to come down to my office. You're going to tell me what you learned. So I said, okay. So after class, I went down to his office.
Shout out to teachers, man, that go that extra mile.
To go that extra mile.
Yeah.
I told him everything we did in the class. And then he started to explain, I see your work. I see you walking around this campus, bro. And you don't leave the edit room, and you have greatness in you. If you are truly to be great at what you do, you have to be great at everything you do. So I'm going to walk you to these other classes that's on this schedule. You're going to come back here, and we're going to talk about what you're learning and how you're going to approach this academically. And he raised the bar for me where I stopped thinking of just being this video guy or figuring out this video thing and really becoming a well-rounded person and responsible person. And at the time, man, I never, like Rob G said, he wanted to go to Hampton, but I came to TSU because I'm following some cats I thought wasn't smart.
By the way, y'all, Rob G is in the building, the general.
Yeah.
Can you just show your face real quick, Rob? Because he mentioned you like three times. Like somebody might be like, who the hell is Rob G? Rob G, the general.
To go do another interview.
There you go. There you go. Go ahead and turn it off. But
appreciate you, Rob G.
Appreciate y'all.
I came because I'm following some cats I thought were not great learners, but was going to college. I didn't come to finish. I didn't come to graduate. I never thought I could until this brother put it in me that I could graduate and had me thinking differently. So TSU saved my life.
Wow, that's big.
And that was one of the things that I always say. So I always made sure I help people get out of there, showed them a light. If students wanted to do interns, man, I probably single-handedly had so many students run through BET as interns. I know it's over 50 people. And BET start coming to Houston because I start pushing them here.
A lot. We got on TV a lot. Even me, J Mac, back in the day,
Yeah.
we was on there once or twice. I'm like, man, we're like regulars,
bro. Yeah, because this was a great experience. I used to tell them about y'all show because, man, that show. Right, what was it? You was on from 1 to 6, 1 to 7.
You talking about in the afternoons?
In the afternoon,
2 to 6.
2 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that would have me cracking up, and Jay and people getting through their day. I thought that was the best thing ever, and I would be at BET telling them about it because they started doing rap radio.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, got to go to Houston. Got to go to Houston.
Yeah, they did some cool stuff with us. I can't even. It was, and I think a lot of it. I'm absolutely sure a lot of it was because of you. Yeah. And once they know that there's a vibrant city that's doing some big things, who wouldn't want to be part of it? We had a lot of energy in the city at that time. We've got a lot of energy still in the city. But I just want to say now, how did you get to BET from here?
So
because it's still a walk to get there.
right.
That gets you back to doing all the other stuff that you do.
So I was working at KHOU. From 94 to 98, I was a cameraman and an editor in the sports department.
Okay.
With Gift Nielsen. And at some point, they started saying, well, John, when you graduate, they pushing you out because they're trying to bring the other people in.
Yes, sir.
And I was graduating and I wanted to be Hype Williams. So I was trying to figure out how do I do that? And then I was like, BET airs the videos. Maybe I try to go get the job at BET. So I called their job line.
Wow.
Listen to the job line. They had an opening at Teen Summit. I took Channel 11 did this thing, Our Family, Your Family, where they show the people working at KHOU, and I was a single kid parent.
Mm-hmm.
And they did this whole piece on me. And I also had worked at the Shape Center. And all that was in this package that they did. And so I took my resume, I took my little reel I put together, and I sent them that package of me and my family life and me as a kid working at Channel 11 and doing my thing. And the senior producer there saw it, and she blew me up, man. She called and hired me. And that's how I got into the building.
Wow.
And just as quick as she hired me, she was even quicker in firing me.
Okay, happens that way sometimes.
Yeah, they say you never worked in this business until you got fired, right? But I learned so much because I was under such stress, me trying to hold on, that I probably accelerated 3 years of learning because I had to go figure it out myself within that 90-day period. That one of the VPs that was under Bob Johnson would see everybody would leave. I would stay. I would spend the night in the building. I would be going through the computers looking for scripts so I could figure out how to write the scripts. I would spend the night and be in the same clothes the next day, and so did that VP. She would have her team in there overnight. So it came a point where they were like, who is this kid still at Teen Summit, still working? Because they're always out of the building at 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock. They're gone, not me. And so when I got let go, they had an opening at Rap City, and I had compiled this work that I had done that I could show them because my packages were strong, that I could show them, and I got hired at Rap City as a producer.
Nice.
Then the next year I was the senior producer, same position of the lady that fired me. But she was
goes
sick.
that way sometimes.
But it goes that way sometimes.
Yes, sir.
And I never looked back, bro. So that's how I got there.
So how do we go from that then? And then you did some big. And I think you got. Didn't you get some award for Rap City? No. For the kids, the Teen Summit.
I got the NAACP Image Award.
Yeah. Congratulations
for the work that I did.
Because I never got a chance to probably tell you. So
thank you, bro. Yeah. Yep. And then I got for BET for Still Tippin, I got in VMA nomination.
Wow.
BET Hip Hop Award.
Now, did Michael Watts ask you to do this video? How did that come about? And was that that wasn't your first video, was it?
My first video was D-Rec gave me was Man, and I was still at BET.
It?
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember that. That
And
would
guess
seem to
who
be
was
important
going to
history. But I don't know how I missed that. Wow.
I initially, when D-Rec came to me, because I was at BET, I was pushing him to work with Little X. And I told him I wanted to direct, but I had never directed anything. And I guess my passion, I talked to Little X. Little X said he would do it. And I told D-Rec, he said, nah, I'm going to go with you. So I was blown away. Nervous, petrified, but happy, to get the opportunity. And that's what started. So that was 99, because I was still living in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who was the person responsible for the Still Tippin' video? Classic song, classic video,
G
classic
Dash,
artist.
T Ferris.
They just reached out to you like, we know you can do this.
They had so I did Hooker. Mike Jones Kiati connected me with Mike Jones.
Okay.
Because he saw Hooker. Quay and Kiati and Walter D pulled me in to do Hooker.
Wow.
And Mike Jones.
Y'all getting a history lesson and don't even know. All these names, you got to go Google all these names.
Yeah, you got to Google these names. Mike Jones saw Hooker through Kiati and Quay.
Okay.
He loved that video, and he wanted me to direct the video for him, but he didn't know that Wally at Clout Distribution wanted me to get with G Dash because he thought that I could do they were doing good stuff over there, and he thought I could help them, that we needed to know each other. So I told Dash the
G
price.
Dash ran Swisher House along with Michael Watts. CEO.
So I met with G Dash and T Ferris, and I told
T Ferris, he manages
Megan Thee Stallion.
now. Just throwing he's throwing out some good names. So let me make sure I preference some of these people.
Yes. So I met with Dash. I was arrogant. He was arrogant.
I never took you as arrogant, but if you say so, I got to go with it. This is your story.
When it comes to the price, because we were shooting film, and the cost was the cost. That wasn't going to me, but film is a whole thing. Film is expensive. The people that are shooting it on film, the cameras, everything goes into support. So I can't tell you. At the time, my price was like $30,000. That was it. I made $3,000.
That's a good price during that time.
During that time,
yeah,
because they were doing $100,000 and $200,000, $500,000 on production.
Absolutely.
So I made 10%. I made $3,000. That's all I made out of that $30,000. The technician, everybody, we had to fly in and then fly to LA to develop the film, to color it, to edit it. It's so many steps. So I told Dash, it's $30,000. He's nah, I ain't doing that. And I said, cool. That was my arrogance there, because it's like I can't make it cheaper, and I ain't doing it for free, you know. And Wally had the vision to really make us come back and sit down and see the value in each other, because he saw something. And so Dash said, okay, I think we got it down to like 28. We figured some stuff out, and he said, I'm gonna hire you, but if you do a bad job, I'll never hire you again. Fair enough. Still Tippin happened. It was a classic.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that video played for a year before it even hit, and then another half year as the world just rolled to it. You know, all of the popularity of it, and we shot it in December of 2004, 2005. By August, it made 106 in Park. Then it took off throughout, you know, the way it did. Yeah. And then by April of 2006, we then went and started gearing up to shoot back then. And that's when Asylum was like, oh, we got a guy. We don't want to, you know, use this guy, you know, they pat you on the head. Good job. T. Ferris and D. Dash was like, nah, if you don't hire this guy, we're not shooting the video.
Wow.
And I wasn't available, and they had to wait for me. And that's when they were like, well, no, we don't want to wait. They said, nah, we waiting on him. And
that's
they
nice.
did, and we did back then, and that was even bigger.
Yeah.
And Asylum was like, okay, we see why you like this guy.
Damn.
Yeah, and that set my career, because that would have been it. I could have done Still Tippin, man, and, you know, stuff happens, and they go somewhere else, and I disappear.
Yeah. Now, was this the ultimate goal for you, was to become this director? And then was there ever thought, okay, I got to take this directing thing. I got to make it bigger than just, it's cool to do these videos. I love doing this, especially during that time. It was very lucrative to do videos.
Yeah.
But where did the passion come from where you say, you know, I got to start trying to dip and dab into these movies?
Once you make it to the top of the mountain, right? And I was blessed. Like I said, the first BET Hip Hop Award, I was nominated for Director of the Year, and it was Hype Williams, Benny Boom, myself, Senna Hamry, and
all the
superstars, and I'm in that circle. That was great. And then I got nominated for other stuff, and I won a couple other things. And then it's like, what next? Because you think it's this great air on Mount Rushmore, and it's not. There's more to it than just doing a cool video. And so now you want to expand your career. And so by 2008, I started wanting to do movies. And that's a whole, like, you can be one of the top guys turning down jobs. I turned down the independent Webby Boosie job. I don't want to do it. You know, those are dope joints. Yeah. Yeah. I'm turning down stuff because I don't want to do videos anymore. I really don't. Now that opened doors for other cats to come through, and I was happy with that. But I was trying to figure out what was my next passion, and that was film. So now when you try to go there, everything you've done in the past has nothing to do with that. You're starting all over. The only thing it did was get me into the studios. They'll fly me out, and I'll do meetings. But then they would tell me, man, this one cat, they were doing Next Day Air. Benny Boone was directing it. I had a film with Mike Epps called Overdraft, and we were pushing that, trying to get funding. And so they took a meeting with me, and they said, after we got through, and I'm thinking like, yeah, you know, they consider me. And the guy said, well, it's good to meet you. I've seen your work, and okay, but you music video guys don't really know how to tell story.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, huh? Yeah, y'all don't really know how to tell story. You can make it look good, but you don't know how to tell story. And I'm better off hiring a kid out of film school than hiring you.
Wow, he told you this.
Told me this to my face, and I'm sitting there like,
what a smack.
Right? And so I kept getting similar situations. So I've was like, I'll never get a film because I had moved away from LA and I'm here. So I'm not in nobody's face. And I'm like, I'll never get a project. I'm going to have to develop something myself and then show them. Because it made me then still got to make money. And Still Tippin', I tell people I'm an R&B guy. I was an R&B singer. I wanted to do R&B videos, but because rap videos took off for me, I got pigeonholed into the rap world.
Yeah.
I respected the culture and I understood the culture, and I was able to mirror that and show it. Where in ways, I told this to D-Rec, when I did Man, it got them their deal. It co-helped them get their deal that they had for Big Mo, and they went back and did Purple stuff. I was supposed to do the video, but the label was like, nah, we're going to use our guy. We want a polished guy. So I can understand that, but I was devastated.
I got you.
But they don't understand our culture here. So they put Big Mo in a purple derby hat and had little people running around spitting fire. They took a song like Purple Stuff that's a hard joint, and made it a campy circus joint.
Because that's the way they saw it.
That's how they saw it.
They didn't understand the culture.
They didn't understand the culture. And I was mad at D-Rec because he didn't fight for me. And I told him this, right? And I said, man, if I ever get the chance to do another one of these guys' video, even though I'm not a screwhead, I don't listen to the music. Again, I understand it. I would do it this way, and that was Still Tippin'. To put Mike Watts in the middle of this field and have this chick kind of slow whining as the camera's moving in. He's the Pied Piper of the neighborhood.
Right.
You know, and to me, so many artists have got in videos and they never showed the culture. They never showed the slabs. The chick, to me, represented the strip club culture of it.
Yeah, it had a lot of different degrees of what culture of what Houston music was at that particular time was all about. So it was all in there, for sure. You definitely had a sensibility for what was happening within the culture. So, yeah, again, a salute on that, man. I thought that was brilliant, man. And the song is a brilliant song. So, I mean, to this day, it's still a classic. Yeah, you can't deny it. And I don't care. That's coast to coast. Yeah. I don't care where you go. You still have to admit that's a giant, huge song. So you go to trying to create these movies now. What's the steps that you take, and then did it happen for you the way you want it to happen for you? And then I want to talk about, I know you made, I'm still kind of confused on this French movie thing, but
that's what we're
and I'm like,
So it's a hard role, Heather. It's a hard role. And thank God for the television stuff, because that's how I eat. I still produce and direct in that world. Too old for a music video, bro. I'll do a couple, but I just
it's no such thing.
I struggle through the songs, man. I struggle. I get them records. I just be like, oh, okay, how much? Oh, okay, I'll be there. You know? But I struggle, and that to me is not being able to be creative. And I always got to get something creative out of it.
I understand.
And so, but I had to create my own situation. So there's a guy who I can't say enough of. His name is Marcus J Guillory. He's from South Park. This guy, he writes now on Law and Order, Criminal Intent. The last season of Empire, he was a producer and a writer on Empire.
Wow.
He wrote on Marvel's Cloak and Dagger. VH1 had a show called The Breaks. He was one of the writers on that.
Love The Breaks.
And this dude to me is like a modern day August Wilson, because his voice is so unique and so different, almost Tarantino-esque.
I got you.
You know, and he had this original material. I used to hire him to write treatments for me, and he used to always push me, hey man, you know, music videos were great then, right? He's like, yeah, I know you're doing good in these music videos, but you really should be thinking about doing a film. I'm like, a film? I ain't doing a film. I'm making this money, you know? He was like, no, you should read this. So when maybe 2-3 years later, after I slowed down and now I'm seeing what he was seeing, I called him and I asked him, hey man, you got this film that you told me about, which was Pas Honteux. It's a French New Wave film. And
say the name again, because
Pas Honteux.
And that means?
Shameful Not.
Okay.
It's about a guy
And it was written by a guy from South Park?
From South Park, Marcus J.
A French
Guillory.
movie?
French movie.
Man, props to you, bro.
Yeah. Dude from
We
South
do it
Park.
all.
We do it all, man. And he realized that I was a cinephile. I'm the guy who understands old cinema. I study it. When we start having these conversations, and he was like, wow, I'm just blown away by my knowledge of film. So, and styles and genres of film. So he hips me to this French New Wave film. And I'm thinking he's talking about noir. But French New Wave is a genre of film that totally changes how American cinema was made. In the 50s, because it came out in the late 50s. In the 50s and the 40s, they had big studios. The Kirk Douglases and the Joan Collins. They were making movies like that, and it'd be RKO or Warner Brothers, and these big studio films, Rock Hudson.
Yeah.
All these studio actors. There was a group of 4 directors who were critics who took a camera and decided they wanted to be filmmakers, which wound up becoming classic filmmakers. They took the camera and actors, and as opposed to doing these long drive-up shots and then you cut to this to get to that to get to this, they created what's called the jump cut, which we use all the time in music videos. They also created the montage, which is
I love
summarize.
that. Yeah, scene or something like that.
Right.
One of my favorite ones is in the movie Superfly.
Exactly.
They did this montage scene that broke. I'm just saying it broke down the distribution of the cocaine.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, that's my favorite movie, y'all. I'm sorry, but it was an eloquent way
Yes.
to explain how it got from A
Yep.
to Z.
Yep.
So I'm done. I ain't gonna say no more.
With the less
Somebody
sounds
looking
of
at me.
Curtis Mayfield.
Oh yeah, and you put when you got the music right and
Yeah.
you telling this story, and he used stills
Right.
to tell the story too.
Which
so yeah,
was Gordon Parks'
Yeah.
pictures.
salute Gordon
Yeah,
Parks, man.
because that was his son doing it. But
Yes.
anyway,
yeah.
I digress.
We did.
But
I appreciate you knowing that. Most people I try to explain that to, they're like, man, I forget I'm in here with a director, a writer.
Well, that's what
so
Marcus loved about, because I was really into the
Yeah.
history of films, right? And so these guys were critics, and they created this thing where you just take a camera and you get your actors out there. They would do overdubs, and they would create these films that were more simpler to get to, and it created a following from people like Roman Polanski. Martin Scorsese did a film called Taxi with Jodie Foster in it, and Robert De Niro. Brian De Palma, huge French New Wave fan, who we know for doing Scarface. And I could go on and on, but even more importantly, Quentin Tarantino named is so moved by French New Wave that his first production company, A Band Apart, is named after a popular French New Wave film. So Marcus wrote a film about a guy, about language, how the perception of language is used. If you hear someone speaking French, you think they're smart and they're saying something provocative. But our character is a a-hole in the hood. And when you see him coming, it's like, oh, not this cat. And he gets drunk. He's living off of his granddad's Social Security check, who's dead. Wow. He's a slacker. His homeboys try to give him an intervention, and they bring over a bottle of Cavassier. And, of course, he wants some. So he winds up taking the bottle, drinking the whole bottle, and wakes up speaking French. Don't know what he's saying. He hasn't changed who he is. He's still an a-hole. But because he's saying French, people think he's saying something provocative. And so he's meeting these people and he's still cussing them out and whatever. But they're like, oh, wow, thank you. And so he meets this vagrant who's being relocated because of gentrification. And the police think he's some foreign national that he can go in here and maybe talk this guy and move in. So he goes in and he talks to him, and the vagrant's kind of like, whoa, wait, you speak French? So he starts speaking French back to him. He's like, yo, you know French? Of course, because this vagrant who's been dismissed by society has lived life, and he is somebody, right? And he speaks it honestly because he's a human being. And he starts schooling his brother on, hey, man, you can't be calling chicks bitches and hoes using this language. This is God's language from God's mouth to women's ears. have to, this is a more refined, dignified language. He starts schooling the brother, and so he meets this girl, and he makes a date with her, and that he's gonna teach her French, and she's way out of his class, but he's got this French thing going. And now he starts to want things are happening for him. He's starting to want more out of life. He repays his debts to people, and he's changing. And the moment of this big date, he wakes up, and the ability to speak French is gone.
Wow.
So he has his choice. Do I continue to be an ass because I didn't know any better? But now that I know better, do I make a change? Because there's resolve there.
Don't say the end.
I won't give the end.
Don't say the end. Y'all got to see the movie.
And so Marcus wrote this, man. And so when he drinks and he gets drunk,
so it didn't take. So you're not shooting this in France. It's a
shot it in Atlanta.
Okay,
in SWATs.
Okay, gotcha.
And so it's in the hood of Atlanta. And why Atlanta? Because Atlanta has this certain twang to their joint that if a dude start speaking French, I'm sure somebody would know, but it's just so far from their dialect to a French language that people would be like, well, what is he saying? But if I shot it in New York, in the Bronx, somebody in New York
speaks French.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be. I wouldn't be so blown away by that.
Right.
It's such a cultural place.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went to, and the other reason why I went to Atlanta because I kept getting pushed back to Houston. So if I shot it here, it still keeps me in the same pigeonhole.
I got you.
So let me go away, go to Atlanta, do something totally different. I still give you an urban story, but I put French New Wave on it.
Gotcha.
So when he speaks French, we go to black and white, 4x screen. We do the jump cuts. We do montage. We do all Edith Piaf singing
nice.
stuff. All of this stuff is happening. And that was my way to that guy that smacked me in the face and said I couldn't tell a story. It's to say, okay, now look at this. I can tell a story.
What was the reception of the film, or what has been the reception?
So it got accepted into Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival. That was the first acceptance. And then it screened under the Emerging Directors category at ABFF, American Black Film Festival. And it screened off the chart to the point that other people that were screening and they do the Q&A, we got all the attention. They didn't ask him any questions.
Wow. Then
it went to Martha's Vineyard, and that's an old money, older crowd. My mother could have been sitting there. And because it's a dark comedy, I was afraid that, oh man, I'm about to get scolded.
Might be over their head.
It might be over their head. The language might be too harsh. And we got a standing ovation.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, and then it went to Black Star in Philadelphia. It played at the, it's a big one in Los Angeles, Pan-African Film Festival. It won the Audience Choice Award there. That's Danny Glover's film festival.
Right.
And then the New York Hip Hop Film Festival, it won the best of the festival and the best short. So it did so great that
y'all didn't try to go negotiate a deal with, I hate to say it, but the Netflix or Amazons.
That was the next step. So now we're into 2019.
Okay.
The first deal that we negotiated was with Revolt. And our people, man, I had to give hats off to Diddy because he came looking for it. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And gave me a deal. We did a 3-year non-exclusive deal. Paid me more money than they paid anybody because they do this short and fresh thing. They paid me more money because it's a 45-minute short, and the other ones are like 5 and 10, and they put a whole bunch of shorts on that show. He paid me more money than they paid anybody for their joints, and we did a 3-year deal, and they were going to plaster me all over the Revolt Summit, which was coming 2020.
And then COVID happened. Damn COVID, man.
Damn,
man. Yeah,
then COVID happened. So now,
that stops everything.
That stopped everything.
And then, so I guess that brings us to now.
Yep.
Because I hate to put it like this, it kind of killed your project.
It killed my project. Yep.
So now you're trying to rebirth this thing and move forward.
Exactly. So what I realized, because we were talking about social media and all of that, I was not a social media guy. I don't jump on. I'm making myself do it because I realize if you don't see what I'm doing, you don't know
what you doing.
What I'm doing.
Yes, sir.
And I make myself not relevant. and I fade to black. Because now when I go, and I've been up for a couple of films, they go, now they check your social media. Well, you can't
How
be
active
too
are you?
How active are you? Yeah.
You only got this many followers.
Right.
Ain't that crazy?
Exactly.
So you get judged
Yep.
on your digital life.
Exactly.
It's crazy, man. That's
And
the
I
times
just
we
looked
live
at I was, again, telling Rob G, I said, man, I got 3 pictures on here. 2 of my dog that I put down in 2020.
Oh, God.
And the other one is the last post I put in
All right,
January
you might need to go talk to
2021.
a team, brother.
I need to.
You need to talk to a team.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to ingratiate yourself into that life. It can be hard because you come from the generation right before it kicks off. So for you and myself as well, you look at it like, it's literally a job. But this generation is
it's
life.
effortless. It's life for them.
It's life.
Yeah.
For you, it's a job.
Oh, it's a job. Because I have to think to do it. I had to think to do what I was doing just now. And so the whole thing was, okay, I got some other things coming that we got rolled up, and I realized I have no footprint rather.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to screen this film and let people know about it. And it's doing really great. Latoya put up the link, RSVP link. It was full by. She put
Latoya's
it up on Friday.
a PR person.
It's a PR,
she
yes.
helps everybody get out there.
Yes. She put it up on Thursday. Saturday, she's like, I got to take it down because we didn't surpass
what you could do.
What we
Your
could
name
do.
is big too. I think what happens is we, as people, you say you forget who you are.
I do. That's true.
And I've never known you to toot your horn.
No.
And that's why social media is hard for a person like you too. You do what you do, and it's become your living.
Yep.
But unfortunately, in your living, you have to show that you're living digitally and communicate socially digitally as well. So I understand.
And think about
the
it.
Fight.
Our generation, we come from a generation, one, no biting. Run DMC sucking MCs, that's not.
That's real. That was
now.
real life.
That was real life. So now, if I'm out here saying, look at me, you know, cats would check you for that,
right?
But that's not the world anymore,
right?
You got to say, look at me. Hey, look at me.
And if you don't do that, they forget
you don't
that.
Exist.
I remember that guy, Dr. Teeth. That's what it becomes.
Yep. I'll be on a milk cart somewhere, bro.
And you have to do, and it has nothing to do with age or anything, because I've seen some folks in their 60s and 70s, they getting down on social media.
Oh, absolutely. Snoop is one who has created a life for himself that can put out a rap record and still be relevant.
Yeah.
That can jump on a feature with somebody and then go cook dinner with Martha Stewart. You know?
And everybody's by the way, side note, everybody ain't Snoop Dogg.
No.
But he definitely transitioned in a very unique way.
Have the gray going, all that, and he still stand up there.
I just seen a movie with him on it recently.
See?
Out there with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And he's still doing it.
Still doing it, man.
And he can do and say whatever he wants. It's a great space to be in.
It's a great space to be in.
But you got to get you will adapt.
Yeah.
You will adapt. You have to relearn.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid.
No.
Obviously, you're great in your lane that you're in, but you have to embrace this other lane. And for a guy like you, here's what my challenge to you would be, is to do short, especially with the TikToks and all that. You have the imagination where you could do short 1-2 minute vignettes of things to get people excited again.
Right.
And so you just have to figure out ways to do that just to keep yourself moving, so to speak. So I encourage you to do that. But obviously, if people want to see the movie now, how can they see the movie?
So we are, because it's on Revolt, if I post it, then cats won't go there to see it. And
so they can still go to Revolt?
They still can see it on Revolt
TV.
It might be on their website. I know it. Somebody, every time it comes on, somebody calls me.
Right.
And I was one who didn't even know where Revolt was on cable.
Right.
I do now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so you can watch it on Revolt on their Short and Fresh. You can Google there's a website. No, the website's down now because it's 20 the COVID. But the website will be back up. But if you really want to see the film, man, we're going to show it again in January.
Okay.
And we're going to make it way bigger because, like you said, I'm real humble.
Just reimagine this whole deal. Do it bigger.
Yeah.
I would say do it at a theater.
Yep.
Let's give people the opportunity to sit, eat some popcorn, and really enjoy it the way it needs to be enjoyed. In the meantime, they need to follow you and watch your steps as you work up to that place so they know what Dr. Teeth is doing. So let's start by saying, what's your social media?
Please follow me. They say, never say please. Please follow me at Director Dr. Teeth.
Yes, sir.
On IG. I'm on there, and I'm going to be posting now.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
And you still do videos.
And I still do videos. David Banner hit me, man, and I was so busy this summer, I wanted to do that one.
Wow.
That I couldn't do, but I still do videos. Yes.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. I mean, you got to we got to let people know.
Yeah, so I still do videos. And another cool thing, man, CNN did a whole Juneteenth celebration. I directed the opening segment of that celebration with Yolanda Adams singing "Lift Every Voice."
See,
the coolest thing
you got to start letting
world.
people know when you do these things. You got to remind yourself you need an assistant.
I need an assistant.
Miss Lemon is great for you, but I know you need somebody like, hey, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Let's show some type of visual. Hug somebody. Put together a little 1-minute montage of you making things happen so they can see that, man. Because the industry will forget. And just real quick, how did you get hooked up with that?
Jesse Collins, who does the BET Awards. Jesse Collins is big. If you guys know Will Packer in film, Jesse Collins is that guy in television.
Okay.
So Jesse Collins produces that New Edition movie that they did, BET. He also produces all the BET Awards and Hip Hop Awards. He has that Soul Train show that's on BET.
Okay.
And so Jesse Collins Entertainment. Jesse Collins had his people call me and gave me the opportunity, man.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just, again, black people reaching out, helping us reach our levels, man. And Chris Robinson, the director, was who referred me to Jesse Collins to get my first opportunity there. You know, so brothers still
looking out.
Yes,
you know? Sir, absolutely.
But I had no idea. Of course, it's CNN. You do so much stuff, it gets on air, it happens, right? But I had no idea that this CNN piece with Yolanda Adams singing "Lift Every Voice" was going to be worldwide because it's CNN. And I saw Norm Nixon and Debbie Allen dancing and singing "Lift Every Voice" and sing as they are. The show was, we opened the show, but then they had all these performances at the Hollywood Bowl. It's all black superstars went to the Hollywood Bowl in LA, and they're now tweeting and showing my stuff on IG as they're looking at what I did and singing and responding to it. And it blew me away.
Okay, stop right there. This is what I need you to do. When you see that, though, you know what you need to do.
I'm supposed to screen grab it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Come on, you're a director. That's the first thing you got to do. Here's my opportunity to tell my story.
Right.
This is not your ego.
Right.
Let me be clear. This is not your ego. This is what sustains your living.
Right.
Right? Letting people know that you do this work. This is you showing a montage of all these great people enjoying the work that you've done.
That I've done. And not knowing it's going to reach these people.
No, but my thing is you have to get in the habit of doing this. I know you're a professor now at TSU, so you think differently now.
Yeah.
What would my students do? But you got to, this is what you've done, and you just really need to take advantage of it. That's what I would encourage you to do. I mean, you're big time. You know there's way more than me saying it. You definitely
but doing
it.
And like you said, it's a conscious effort. So now I'm there because I realize then it helps me when I don't do it. So
at least you realize that.
Here to do it now.
Well, let me tell you, Matt, when Miss Lemon gave us the opportunity to talk to you, I'm like, I have to talk to Dr. T. I really wanted to because I didn't know your full story, so I've learned things today that I didn't know. I took for granted, and I know that I talked to you years ago.
Yeah.
But you have. Like, my thing now is talking to people who are doing amazing things, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool to know somebody's doing something amazing, but it's just normal for them and they just do it, not realizing what they're doing is amazing.
It's amazing, yeah.
So I just want to salute you on that. Appreciate, I believe, what happens sometimes, even us outsiders, because I'm an outsider too, I'm from North Carolina, they bring interesting things to this city, and they take it other places. Like, I may be from North Carolina, but there are many from where I'm from definitely think, oh, he's just a Houston guy now.
Right.
So you're the same way. You've brought so much value back to this city.
Yeah.
Not to say you disrespect where you're from, but there was something about the city and you brought it back.
Yeah, I brought it back. Man, I'm
this
a
is where you're from.
here
Yeah,
now.
this is where you live. This is where
home.
you're from. Yeah, this is home. And you brought something back. Not to say that in the future you never, don't take anything back home, but this is home for you too.
Absolutely.
But again, I just want to salute you on that, man. I appreciate your
it.
time.
I got a
and the whole
picture of
thing.
us, man, at the box when I was a student.
Really?
Yeah, man, we came up there to talk on the radio. Me and Cliff McBean. I'm gonna send it to you.
Please.
Man, we got on, I think, some Pele.
Oh, well, okay. Leave that picture. Somebody like, what is Pele right now? D.
Yeah.
That was some cool stuff to wear back then. Now, maybe not so much.
Maybe not so much.
No, but Dr. Teeth, Mr. John Tucker, man,
Yeah,
thank
brother.
you so much, man. I appreciate your time. I thank you. I wish you plenty of blessings and hope that, we're never where there's always more.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I want to see more for Dr. Teeth.
Thank you, man.
So
truly
I just wanted to
appreciate
say that, man. Good luck with the movie.
Thank you.
I know you got it on Revolt right now, but when the 3 years is up, if I saw it on some other network, I wouldn't be so mad. No disrespect, Puff. Thank you, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, brother.